Hello everyone, it's Taxman, and it's time for Wine Tasting Tuesday. So today, I just decided to go with something that I'm comfortable with, or rather a style I am. Just wasn't too much options available for innovation with the budget that I've set myself since I've got to prepare for BronyCon. So I went with one that I've tasted several times before, but it's a brand new vintage. And here it is. It is, again, Rioja Bordon. However, the last one I tasted was the Reserva. This is the Crianza. The Crianza Crianza is a step below Reserva. However, it is still aged for 15 months in new American oak barrels and in the bottle before being released. So 15 months in oak, 15 months in the bottle. The blend is 80% Tempranillo and 20% Garnache. The Reserva that I tasted last time, that one is aged for 3 years. 3 years of total time. Well, excuse me. It's aged for longer than this. I'll go over the specifics on Riojas later. But usually it is 2 years for Crianza, 3 years for a Reserva, and 5 years for Grand Reserva, if memory serves me correctly. This is a 2009 vintage. The last one I had, the Reserva, was a 2008. Last year, when they released it at the store, they had the 2008 of this and the 2007 of the Reserva. So we'll see the 2009s for the Reserva next year. But enough of that. Well, as I said before, these Riojas do tend to have a lot more of an animal-y side, like the cured meats, as I've said before. So you get a whole noseful whiff of that. Like a cured pork, almost. With a pepperiness as well. It's almost a bit dank, to be to borrow a colloquial term. The fruit it's got a very strong infusion of that oakiness. It's expanded a bit since I opened it up earlier in the evening. It's got a much more of that balsamic-ness I explained in the Reserva. It's much more apparent here. Probably on account of it being a younger year and a more fruit-forward vintage than the 8s. Also a lot earthier. The meat, I'd say it's almost a bit like a subdued pepperoni, or maybe like a prosciutto or a serrano, if you would believe getting that out of a wine. Leathery too. It's very, as I said, very earthy, but that's good. Well, enough of that. We should get a taste. Ooh. So right away I have to say that it's a much heavier, richer body than the 2008s, and including the 2008 of this own Crianza type that I've had. I have a bottle of 2008, in fact, still downstairs in my little wine refrigerator. Maybe one of these days I'll taste the 2008 against the 2009. Yes, very, very, very full-bodied. Very, I'd say it's got a good amount of tannin, a good amount of acid to it, but rich. And as far as the flavor goes, take another sip just to be sure. It's almost salty, briny, which goes very well with that cured meat bouquet I described earlier. Cured meat, peppery, like crushed black peppers and minced it all. There is fruit to it, but it's dried fruit, dried, leathery fruit. I've said that word leathery too many times tonight. I do apologize for being repetitive and not clarifying enough, but it seems to be one of the best words that comes to mind to describe this. Take a moment, cleanse my palate with some cheese. Okay, now I'm starting to get a lot more fruit. I'd imagine balsamic glazed or balsamic marinated, induced, like cured cherries. If that makes any sense. Balsamic cured or pickled cherries, in a way. There's a better word to describe it. It just doesn't come to my mind at the moment. But that's what I get out of here. Yes, a lot of that. Now, I think it was the 8s or maybe even the 7s that I tasted had a lot more blueberry in them, but not so with this. I've had this one open for about 4 hours now. So it's had sufficient time to aerate. I would have to say that this wine right here is a 1398 bottle. The Rioja Bordon Reserva that I tasted last week was a 1598 bottle, so a 14 bottle against a $16 bottle. I would say that as far as quality goes, they are about the same. You would get a much better value for your dollar with this one if you save $2 to get the Crianza than you would to get the Reserva. And it does make me very curious to see how the Reserva 2009 will be when they release it next year, because the Reserva that Rioja Bordon did for 07 was the only good 2007 Rioja that I tasted ever. And since 2008 was a good year all around, and 2009, so far from what I've read and what I've tasted, is shipping up to be an even better year, the 2009 Reservas are probably going to be top-notch. So again, you heard it from me. This is a great wine. It's good. I love this producer. It is one of my absolute favorite producers from one of my absolute favorite regions, Rioja in España. So if you see this wine, definitely buy it up. Definitely give it a try. It'll go really good. You could drink it by itself or with a aged hard cheese like Machengo, which would be the traditional type, or you could go with a Parmesan Reggiano, or tonight I'm having this with Parma cheese. Or you could also pair it with I'd say meats. As far as meats go, pork, maybe lamb. You could definitely go with cured meats. Just maybe have like a platter on the side that has some thinly sliced prosciutto or serrano, or a pizza that uses like a gourmet pizza that has either of those types of meats on top of it, and it would go very well. It'd go perfectly. Very good. This is a good wine. So you heard from me. Well then, everybody, from me to you, good night, and we'll talk again soon.